Did that bell a little extra loud today. Sorry for that. Good afternoon and welcome to Muskegon Rotary. My name is Tim Arter and I have the pleasure of serving as your president this year. Today's program will be a presentation from the Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. We will do the Pledge of Allegiance followed by a reflection from Gregory Pittman, and we will recite the four-way test at the end of the meeting. So at this time, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Greg?
Okay, thank you, Tim. Good afternoon, folks. If you would indulge me for just a moment, I'd like to share this reflection from two of the greatest people I have ever known on the face of the earth, my mom and dad, Arlena and Phil Pittman. God bless their souls. So my mother, in her infinite wisdom, all the time would tell us, do the right thing, the right way, for the right reason, as often as you possibly can. And my dad, who was not nearly as eloquent, would say, he said to me after I was appointed by Governor Engler in 1998 to the bench and all of the hoopla, getting caught up with the idea of being the first African-American on the bench and breaking those barriers and that kind of thing. After he had spoken with the governor and he wasn't impressed, you know, he looked at me and said, there's a lot in the newspaper, a lot going on. He said, boy, don't get caught up in that. He said, go do your job. Do it well. Do what's expected of you. And if you can help people along the way, by all means, you should do that. And the rest will take care of itself. So I have called that down as I take my seat to this very simple idea. Let's be fidelitous to honesty and doing the best we can wherever we can. And from my dad, let's be impactful while we're doing it. And then we don't chase history. History finds us. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, you may be seated and enjoy your lunch, and we'll be back with you in a little while. Thank you.
You may be seated and you can enjoy your lunch.
I am working.
At this time, we'd like Rotarians with their guests and any visiting Rotarians to come forward at this point in time for introductions.
Okay. No, I hold it. Hello, I have with me today Patrick O'Brien. Look, thank you. I didn't want to go first, but no one else did either. Today I have with me Patrick O'Brien. He is from the Boys and Girls Club in Muskegon. He's our new resource development director and joined us in May and will probably be joining Rotary much more often.
Hi, everyone. I'm Heidi Seitzema, and I'm very happy to introduce as my guest Eugenia Seifert. She has just moved here with her husband and two young boys in June, so give her a big Muskegon welcome. Woo! She has been in the field of nonprofit and philanthropy for about 20 years there and is looking to get engaged here in Muskegon County. And if you recognize her last name as Seifert, she is the sister-in-law to our own Jonathan Seifert and Kelly Seifert of Root Down. And she loves a good DIY project, so I can't wait to hear about that.
Good afternoon, Tom Palmer here. This is Emma McClintock. I'm sorry, Dr. Emma McClintock. She's a chiropractor with Equinox Chiropractic, just moved into a new office at Terry Puffer's office, the corner of Summit and Seaway, and she's given us a look over, so please welcome her.
Hi, friends. Today I have Tony Gearheiser, who is the executive director for our local Red Cross chapter, and he covers 17, 13 counties? 12 counties. 12 counties. I was going to get one of the numbers. And he's been with the Red Cross for over 9 years. He's been in this role for about a year, and before that, he was serving in our military service and is a veteran. So give him a good Muskegon welcome, too.
Hello, Rotary. Marty Seitzma here, and guess what? I get to introduce a college kid today. This is our daughter, Grace. She is a junior at DePaul University in Chicago. Thank you. So she's a junior at DePaul and studying urban planning with a minor in environmental sustainability. Welcome, Grace.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jeanette Hoyer, and I'd like you all to know my dear friend Holly Master. She has her own business, Genuine Enterprises. She's an executive and leadership coach and travels around the country doing that work. And she chose Muskegon, coming from Colorado, a lifelong Denver area resident, but is now here in Muskegon, bought a house on Houston and 6th.
Hello, my name is Susan Crane.
And I'm Sarah Rentz-Masivinga.
And we are the new mother to our exchange student, Michelle Bachel. Did I say that right? But she likes to be called Michi. And she is from Nigeria, and she will be going to Muskegon Public School. And she starts her cross-country training this afternoon and is a basketball player. And she made these dresses for us and for Christy. She made them. She didn't know our sizes. She made them. Aren't they beautiful? And her dress. She's going to be a senior, and she has something for Tim. Oh, we forgot to hang the flag. We forgot to hold the flag up for you, Christy.
Well, thank you very much. She's provided me with a flag of her home club. I wish I could pronounce it. Would you step forward?
Rotary Club of Abuja Mitama.
Yeah, so that would have been difficult for me.
Abuji.
But thank you so much. We really appreciate that, and we welcome you, and are glad to have your flag with us too. So. Thank you.
I think so.
At this time, I'll call Rob Cook forward to present our presenter.
I am very pleased today to introduce you to one of the newest members of our Rotary Club here in Muskegon, and one of my closest friends. So Tim and I have known each other a long time. We went to grad school together 25 years ago at Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas. What, no go Mustangs? No, that's not good. Okay, I'm sorry, I gotta tell you how they do this in Texas. You've seen this, right? That's a Longhorn, right? If you go to the University of Texas, you say, go Longhorn. Well, U of T is not, the University of Texas isn't the only school that does that in Texas. At SMU, you make Mustang ears. You take your two fingers and you go like that. Come on, show me the Mustang. Go Mustangs. There we go. That's better. All right. We'll work on that. That's okay. At any rate, Tim and I both went to SMU together. We were both studying to become pastors. I also need to tell you that Tim is an ordained pastor in the United Methodist Church. But Tim has always felt called beyond the church. He has a gift and passion for making faith real in the lives, everyday lives of people. And currently he's doing that as the director of the Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. Since 1913, this organization has been helping people who, with blindness or with limited visibility to be more independent in this world and to thrive in the sighted world we live in. So they have 3 clinics. One is in Grand Rapids, one in Holland, and one here in Muskegon. Tim's going to tell us about what they're doing locally and in West Michigan. So I am very pleased to introduce you to one of my closest friends and someone I've known and admired for a long time, Tim Tuthill.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you for having me. It is nice to be here. And it's always great to talk about the Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired, something that I know quite a bit about and have learned about in the few years that I've been the executive director for the Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. So we'll get going here. This is a great tool. I'm not used to all this high-tech technology. And working with the visually impaired community, we try to steer away from things like PowerPoint because for our population, it's very difficult. And so, for me to sit in a room with staff members or with clients, I end up audio describing the slides to people. And I've gotten a couple looks from some presenters like, you're being very rude, you're talking through my presentation. And I want to say you're being very rude because they can't see what you're presenting. So, am I doing this right? There we go. Rob already alluded to our mission. I guess I'm struggling with technology. Down, yeah, I'm doing down, but I'm not getting there. There we go. All right, we'll just skip past our mission. Rob already gave it to you. You already know what it is. We really work with individuals where they are, and we try to work. And when we say we work to help people become independent, we work to create an accessible environment for them. And so that accessibility is very important because everything is accessible. It just has to, you just have to incorporate different tools to work on that accessibility. And I'll explain all of that to you through this presentation. So the Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired serves 13 counties here on the west side of the state. And we've been doing our work since 1913. We were founded by Roberta Griffith, who is blind, and she was a contemporary of Helen Keller, and they did work together to formalize the Braille Dictionary. She did not allow her loss of vision or her limited vision to stop her, and so she converted her home into a workshop of sorts. And so she invited people in to teach them skills of independent living. She taught people how to dust. She taught people how to play the piano. She taught people how to clean their house, how to make their lunch. Her goal was really to make people independent and have a great quality of life. And those components of the program still remain 111 years later. So we are one of the oldest nonprofits in the state, and in 2020, we partnered with Mary Free Bed as an independent subsidiary. And I think that that's a really important part for a lot of nonprofits today is they're having to go together with other organizations because it's very difficult to do the work alone. I think I'm going to get this. So why would we partner with Mary Free Bed? You may hear a few buzzwords today in the news because today is the groundbreaking for the first children's rehabilitation hospital in the Midwest. And so we're doing the groundbreaking, and I'm going to have to cut out of here to go to that afterwards because it's a monumentous step for children and families in our community to have this coming together with Helen DeVos Children's Hospital and Mary Free Bed to build a children's rehabilitation hospital. And so that's one of the reasons why ABVI chose to go with a leader in rehabilitation in our community because of not only the reputation, but because of the value add that it adds for our organization. Another aspect of Mary Free Bed is that it has a wheelchair adaptive sports program. And we've been really taking advantage of that adaptive sports program. We do an archery class. How many of you have ever imagined that as individuals that were blind would be able to do archery? Yeah, I know that you would say, yeah, that can be done. And so we have an archery class that we do, and what we do is we help we position the individual, and then they take the bow and arrow and they aim it toward the direction of the bullseye. And on the bullseye, instead of like getting the red target in the middle, they will pop the balloon. So that's how they know they hit the target. Last night we had a walking group in preparation for a run that I'll tell you a little bit more about in a few minutes. But we have a walking group, and so we have guides that walk with the people. We also have guided runners that run with individuals who want to practice their running. So like I said, everything is accessible, but we are able to partner with Wheelchair Adaptive Sports to provide that service, so we don't have to have a staff member to do that. We do operate 3 low vision clinics. We are also a leader on this side of the state for vision rehab therapy. We have an employment initiative, and we also offer counseling and support groups. And I have littered your tables with information, all this information, and I hope that you would take it home and share it with someone else. Now, when I talk about low vision, what is low vision, and why can't I just go to my normal optometrist if my sight is decreasing? Low vision is something that is very specific. So this is a step in a person's life when they're no longer able to get a stronger prescription, or there's no surgery that will correct their vision loss. And so it kind of moves to the next step, and that's where our organization really comes in to help a person make use or maximize that remaining vision. We are not, and it's always a challenge because everyone thinks this next step, you're going to come to our low vision clinic and we're going to be able to help you regain sight. Our goal is to help maximize your remaining sight. So someone with low vision still has usable vision, but we also know that through the process that they're going through, we need to maximize that vision, and that's where our rehabilitation comes in. How many of you have experienced loss of vision? Okay, so you're not alone. Yeah, as we age, our vision does decrease. That doesn't mean you're ready for our clinics, but that's also good to know that we are around. Nearly 7 million Americans over the age of 65 have severe visual impairments. So a large portion of our population is over the age of 60 or 65. And experts believe that low vision and legal blindness are almost double in the next decade. So we know, and we're preparing for a larger population to become part of our community, and we are really working to prepare for that, which was one of the reasons why we partnered with Mary Free Bed, who has a lot of different clinics all around the community. And so our clinic here in town is embedded within one of the Mary Free Bed outpatient clinics. Vision loss can affect daily life, independence, occupation, mental health, and much more. Common low vision conditions that we see just about every day: age-related macular degeneration, dry and wet, glaucoma, diabetic retinopathy, and cataracts, along with many other conditions that come our way. Our Muskegon clinic is run by Dr. Michelle Bouillon, and then our Holland and Grand Rapids clinics are run by Dr. Lori Slominski. Lori's been with us since the early 2000s, so she has a long history with low vision. And she also, both Michelle and Lori practice privately because the clients that they see, it's very emotionally difficult. You're not just going to be able to send somebody away with a stronger prescription. There's a lot of conversations that involve mental health, coming to terms and acceptance with where they are. And so coming into our clinic is certainly a huge step. And so our physicians are very equipped to not only diagnose, but then also be very compassionate with where a person is, especially when it comes to the fact that, the loss of independence, which we all value and want in our lives, is diminished with the loss of sight. And our goal is to really help through this process to help somebody remain as independent as possible. So what does ABVI offer? We do have a clinic here in Muskegon. We offer vision rehabilitation services. We offer orientational ability, which is the training on how to use the white cane. We offer counseling services, social work supportive services, So we know that, case management is very important. So, someone that's losing their sight may also be at risk for losing their home. They may be at risk for not being able to shop, which means they're maybe they're not eating very well. So we do our social worker does a lot with connecting community services to the people that we work with. We offer support groups, and there's a support group here in Muskegon, and that is also listed on the support group sheet. We do a lot of advocacy work. So just like the advocacy work that I told you about in the beginning with our PowerPoint slide that you're all enjoying, I'm sure, that we want to talk about accessibility. We want to make it a very normal conversation. Most of us do rely on our site for everything, and so may just take for granted that, I can see a PowerPoint slide, or I can, drive my car wherever I want to go. Those are those things that we really are working on. Another really key issue that we're working on right now is Uber and Lyft. So many people with low vision or blindness rely on ride shares to get to appointments, to get to events, to see family, to get to work. And some individuals have utilized a guide dog, but we found very recently that a high percentage of these riders are being rejected at the sight of the dog. So the ride is canceled and the individual is left stranded. And so we really are working to advocate not only with our legislators, but also with the Department of Transportation to enforce the federal mandate that they cannot be excluded because they have a guide dog. This is their means of independence, and so that's being compromised when their ride is canceled or they're left stranded. They can't get to a doctor's appointment, and we all know how difficult it is to get a doctor's appointment. You can imagine if the only way you can get there is by a ride share, but at the point of pickup, they're denied. So that's something that we are working on. Not only with our local officials, but at the state and federal level. We offer blindness rehabilitation for all ages, as well as assistive technology training, and we just launched in March of 2023 an employment initiative. So we'll start kind of with the low vision clinic, which is something that's right here in your backyard. What we do is we will look at where a person is when they enter, and then we'll also test for what kind of vision is left, and then with that we can determine what kinds of magnifiers as well as devices would be appropriate. And then we develop a treatment plan that may be administered in our clinic, or it may be administered in the home to help people navigate for themselves. The low vision clinic time does allow a time for a lot of questions and a lot of dialogue. We're not a one size fits all, and so it's a very personalized care plan that we do develop. And so there's time to test out all the different devices, magnifiers, as well as tints and lenses to see what really works for the person, because it's not a one size fits all. And that's something that's really important to understand, that just because someone is losing their sight or has a little bit of usable vision, it doesn't mean that it's going to be the same in everyone. On your table, there is a referral brochure. There's a young man with his hat on backwards. You can take that home and schedule an appointment if you or someone would benefit from seeing us. Sometimes it's a very personal decision, and some people have a very hard time making that. So having a recommendation from a friend or family member is really important. A lot of people do come in with a friend or a family member to help not only with the driving, but also to help kind of just process through what we're trying to explain through the low vision exam. So just give us a call. We'll just ask for a recent eye exam, and then we just take it from there. The next piece is our vision rehabilitation team, and this team really works with training people how to live independently. So it can be listening to what a person's goals are, and then figuring out what kind of training is necessary. So we teach anything from kitchen skills, like how are you going to cut a tomato, how are you going to boil water. You can see in this slide, there's some dots on a microwave. So there's a picture of a microwave, and then we have these little dots that we place, so you can memorize, with your hand where the numbers are that you want to use. And so that kind of placement becomes very second nature to what we do. there's always time for other kinds of strategies, like how would you use a magnifier, or how would you use something that would really help you to do those things that you enjoy, from reading a book to maybe corresponding over email with a loved one. So these are a few samples of some of the magnifiers that we use. Anything from a pair of goggles that would go over your eyes to those handheld devices. Those are great, but they also are a little clunky and clumsy. So we have some new pieces of equipment. This is one example of something that would just be able to sit in your home. And then we also have something that looks like an iPad that can go anywhere you want to go. And it just magnifies the what you're trying to look at. So it might be if an individual is trying to be independent and shop, they would be able to hold the magnifier up over their over the price or the product, and they would be able to, it would magnify that for them. So also there's quite a bit of work that's being done with everything from our smartphones to goggles that that go on your glass, or that look like a set of pair of glasses, and you just tap on the side and it will read what is right in front of you. So it's kind of audible, and it will just tell you what you're looking at. Like it might be there's a doorway, or it may be there's a person in front of you, or if you're at an art museum, it would read what the painting or the photograph is in front of you. We have an individual who specialized in grad school in assistive technology, and so we do utilize that therapist for a lot of in-home training, as well as in like environments where that's needed. Orientational mobility is another therapeutic modality that we have, and we have an orientation mobility specialist that works with students in schools, as well as individuals in their home or in their work setting. So this individual, his job is basically spent traveling around and meeting people where they are. So he may go to a client's home and they may practice how they're going to navigate a bus route. He may, one of the stops that he made was an individual wanted to figure out how to go shopping at Costco. Well, you can imagine what that would be like. I mean, that's challenging for me, let alone someone who can't see, but they're learning how to navigate, a very complex environment that changes all the time. So, that's one thing that we really do meet the people where they are, and whatever goal they have, then we work with them on that. Like I said, it's not just about losing your sight, it's also about talking through it. And we have not only a counselor, a therapist that works with our psychology department at Mary Free Bed, but we really work on focusing on acceptance, as well as the complexity of what it means to go through this process of step by step, maybe losing sight, and maybe even one day going blind. But we also know that it's not just one-on-one, it's also meeting others who are going through a very similar experience. We found that peer support groups are a very effective way to put people together. We have a Muskegon group here that meets over at Senior Neighbors the third Thursday of the month at 10:30. That's on the sheet. So if you're interested, please call and let us know. We would be more than happy to expand that group. And that really helps to build and to enforce that, one, you're not alone and you're not going through this process alone. And two, there's a lot of people that have different ideas and different strategies and tactics in order to work through this. In March of 2023, we launched our employment group, and it's called Rise, Reach Conclusion Through Successful Employment. 70% of people with blindness or low vision are unemployed, and we really want to work to reduce that statistic. A job is not just about going to a job from sometime in the morning till sometime in the afternoon. It also builds a lot of personal worth, as well as interaction with people and a sense of accomplishment. And the main reason why individuals with blindness or low vision do not have a job isn't out of motivation, it is because of accessibility. If any of you have applied for a job recently, you've probably had to go to a website, and then you've had to figure out check boxes and fill in the blank here. You can imagine if that application is not accessible through someone's screen reader, And what the most challenging part is that I hear time and time again is I got to the end and they wanted me to sign my name in a box, but I couldn't find it. That's very frustrating, very humiliating. And so, we really work through this program to help the first part to help build those skills of being independent. And then we really work in the middle to then help individuals find a job. And so that's one of the things that we're doing. I was just talking with a client the other day, and he took a job that wasn't the job that he applied for, but after the interview, he was given another job, and it wasn't what he was qualified for, what he'd gone to school for, but he said, I took it because I really needed to support my family. And so that underemployment is something that we're also working on. We don't want people to just take jobs because it's the only thing that they were offered. We want people to have that sense of self-worth that I got the job because that's what I was going for. And we want to help create that pathway for them to move forward. How we are funded. So we are a nonprofit. Let me emphasize, we are a very nonprofit. We are very grateful to the Muskegon community, and especially for the Muskegon Senior Millage. Yes, thank you. Thank you for voting and for approving that. We also rely on the Kent County Senior Millage, the Older Americans Act, the Bureau of Services for Blind Persons, that used to be called the Commission for the Blind. They are a state agency that works with individuals with blindness. Michigan Rehabilitation Services, as well as donations and private pay. So we have a run coming up, the Run for Sight, the 18th annual Run for Sight at Pierre Marquette on September the 7th. I know that a big part of Rotary is community service. So if you'd like to come out and cheer for us and be supportive in lending a hand, we would welcome that. Judge Richard Bernstein, Michigan Supreme Court Justice, the first blind Supreme Court Justice in Michigan, is running that race. And so, be a chance to meet him. He's a wonderful, wonderful man, and very passionate about not only independence but making space for everyone. So come out to Pierre Marquette on the 7th and just root us on. We have added a hand cycle race at 8:28, so that's a new addition for us. So our goal is not to just make this a fundraiser, but it's also to make it so that the people that we are raising money for are included in the race. So we do have guided walkers, guided runners, as well as hand cycle this year. So that's really important for us. If you want to learn more, just talk to me. I think that we're always looking for partners as well as volunteers. So if you have some ideas, we certainly welcome that. And I think I've got a few minutes for questions.
I lived with a guy that was visually impaired, and one time he thought he was taking Advil, and he took 5 Adderall.
Yeah.
How do you handle medications?
So one of the things that we work at through our vision rehabilitation program is organization. And so, that's not only organization of medicine, but clothing, all those different things. So we teach our clients how to organize not only their pills, but also any part of their life, because that's a key piece. So that mix up, unfortunately, happens more often than not. We are also looking into working with accessible pharmacies that have the pill bottles labeled in Braille. So that's one step that we are working on, and it's kind of on both coasts. It's on the East Coast and the West Coast. It's a little slow to make it in the middle, but in order to do that, we have to find a pharmacist that can do that for us, because we can't fill our own prescriptions. So that's something that we are working on.
Tim, you mentioned one of the factors that you brought up is that the vision is going to double in the next decade.
Correct.
What is that attributed to?
One, a large population of individuals getting older. So we do have that. Also, we haven't also done a great job of taking care of our eyesight. So for some of those things, diabetes, someone who's not managing their diabetes very well, they're impacted by their vision is impacted. Stroke and traumatic brain injury are another thing that we're seeing a lot of right now, that someone has a new condition. So that isn't even taking into account cataracts, or other things or macular degeneration that we already see. So. Mm-hmm.
A quick comment and then a question. Last year, for better than half of the year, I struggled with a severe eye infection that I almost lost the sight in my right eye. And the difference in my perspective regarding persons with limited vision completely changed, much more attuned to that and how it affects totally every aspect of your life.
Right.
I have an interest in a behavioral health agency here in town, and we work with the BSBP. We're looking at specifically doing more in the employment area. So be interested to hear you say what kind of jobs generally you find for persons with impaired vision.
We really approach it from, we want to listen to what kind of work an individual wants to do. Because if we go the other route, we're limiting the potential and possibility. It's only like, well, you could work in a call center, or you could work over here, or you could work over there. We could make that. Then we're diminishing the person's autonomy as well as what they really want to do. We're saying, well, because of your limited sight or your blindness, then this is all you're able to do. Where our work is really to find a way that makes every job, or a job that someone wants to do, accessible. And so one of the things in our program is when a person does receive a job, then we go into the agency or the office, and then we'll do all the training with that person, from the technology to the space, so that the person can really be successful.
So thank you for this phenomenal program that you guys have. I look forward to working with you guys on some things. Just as a reminder to all of my Rotarian friends, on April 28th starts the Paralympics, and you will see a lot of the athletics that this program starts our youth out with, and then you'll get to see the stage of the world with the para athletes. Same venues, same tracks, same basketball courts, just a little different twist on how things are done. But the blind sports they'll blow your socks off.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tim, for your presentation and the information that's provided to us in our community. We, as a part of our work, we will be contributing to the Shelter Box Disaster Relief Program as an honorarium for those who present. So thank you very much. At this time, Mike, a birthday slide. Oh, Aslan, you didn't know it was your birthday. And so our birthday is Aslan Scott on August the 16th. Jenny Sprague, hopefully she's online today, August the 18th. Jill Bonheis, 19th, and Mark Alford taking pictures today, the 21st. So at this time, just a reminder that we ask that people make a contribution of $10 towards our Caring Connection. And if you desire, we have envelopes up front, and some of the materials have a QR code that you can contribute if you want to do that digitally. At this time, today we have a spotlight of an individual who's going to give his perspective of serving on the Harvest Fest sponsor committee. Mike?
Hi, everyone. My name is Pete DeBoer with the Community Foundation for Muskegon County, and I'm here to talk about Harvest Fest today. The great thing about Harvest Fest is that when we approach people, it's not always going to be a yes that they want to get involved. But when people do say yes, man, it's a jolt. It's fun. People understand the value of Rotary. They understand the value of this community, and being able to host an event where people are coming together for a good cause and have some fun while they're at it. And it's a great combination. Yeah, so last year, the Rotary Club partnered with Reed Muskegon. It was actually a holdover from a few years of those dark days of COVID. We had an existing relationship with Reed Muskegon, and we were able to finally have that come to fruition with Harvest Fest last year. What Rotary means to me is an opportunity to come together most Thursday lunchtime opportunities that the ability to sit with 100 to 150 of my friends here in Muskegon community. It's really brought me closer to where we live, what we get to do with the Muskegon community, and the opportunities, Harvest Fest being one of them. But we all hear about great opportunities to volunteer or become involved. And man, Rotary is just that gathering space. I think Carla Flanders, who is also on the sponsorship committee for Harvest Fest, said one time, and I wholly agree with it, is, man, if I need to find somebody, usually I just show up at Rotary and they're usually there.
Nice job, Pete. At this time, we have some announcements. Lisa, if you want to come forward, I'll have a few announcements in the meantime. There will be a rewind meeting tonight at the Unruly Brewing starting at 5:15. We encourage you to participate in the Microforest Mondays from 8:30 to 10:30 this summer. And Lisa, if you want to come forward.
All right, I'm going to talk to you about something you haven't heard anything about yet, Harvest Fest. So if you weren't there before, you can see from these pictures that we had an amazing time, and you should want to be a part of that because it was so much fun. As your local foodie, I think it was delicious, and I need to prepare more to eat a little bit more at that next one. So looking forward to having everyone come back. Let's see how fast we can sell out these tickets. They're available now. There's a QR code up there, so you can go ahead and scan that to get your tickets now. As Pete said, he would really like to sell you a sponsorship today. And he said the sponsors are in this room, so you might as well just go ahead and talk to him right now and get that taken care of. We have volunteer opportunities. It's super fun. Hopefully the color of the shirts may be a little bit more appealing than orange. I don't know about you, but that was not my color. And if you have any questions, emails have been sent out, and there's going to be a lot more emails until we get these sponsorships and volunteer opportunities and tickets all sold. Thank you.
We've been announcing this for the last few weeks, but the time has now arrived. Saturday, August the 17th, which is the day after tomorrow, we'll be having a joint event with the Grand Rapids Rotary. We have over 25 Muskegon members who've signed up to participate in this service project, in which we'll be doing work at the Boys and Girls Club to help them after this their building project. There's some work to be done on the landscaping and other grounds. If you haven't signed up, you can still come and still show up. The service project is going to start at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning, run to 11:30. What's nice about it, for those of you who haven't been through the facility, they'll be taking some small groups through the facility so that you can take a look at it. So that'll be at the Boys and Girls facility. And we also are coordinating a social event at the deck starting at from noon to 1:30. We'll be running. And for those, if you're not participating in the service project of the Boys and Girls Club, you certainly can come by the deck between noon and 1:30. What's important to know is Grand Rapids is going to be sending a group of at least 30 people to come over and participate. So it's going to be a great event. It'd be nice if we had more than they had, but if that's not possible, we can certainly use your help if you can. Yesterday, all members should have received a Club Runner email providing background information regarding and notification of a club member vote to be held next week at the club luncheon to endorse and improve the club to formally apply to Rotary International as a sponsor club for the Rewind in order for that to become a formal Rotary International satellite club. So there's a lot of details in that email if you want to take a look at it, but you can certainly contact me with any questions. Nominations Committee is going to be meeting this coming Monday morning to consider a slate of new board members for the board. starting July the 25th, 2025. If anybody's interested in any of these positions, certainly give me a call or contact me. And finally, there will be a new member Coffee Connect to be held Friday, September the 20th. You can't get them on your calendar soon enough. It is, again, Friday, September the 20th at 8 o'clock in the morning at the Lakeshore Museum. With that, that's all the announcements I have. And, oh, I'm sorry, Darlene. Please come ahead. I didn't see you come up in my peripheral.
As all of you probably know, Joan Schmidt, one of our former members, has no longer belonging to Rotary. And I just wanted to let you know she is in the hospital again at this time and would really appreciate, I'm sure, receiving some cards. So I just wanted to let you know about that. She is located in room 323 at Trinity Health Hospital.
Sorry, Darlene. This time the raffle, Eric? $10. $929. Okay. $856. $20. Oh, fine. $880. Okay. Okay, next week's program will be a presentation from the Little River Band of Ottawa Indians, Family Services. At this time, if you'd please rise to recite the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? So have a great week, and we're adjourned.